Howdy folks, Troy with V-Twins to V8s, coming on today to do a short video on how to remove and install a hood with just one person. I work alone in my shop 90% of the time. I don't really have anybody else around for another set of hands, so I've developed all kinds of ways to put things together and take them apart and do this and do that. People ask me all the time, how do you do that by yourself? So I figured I'd come on and I'd show you a little video on how I put a hood on and take it off without anybody helping me. So here we go. Okay, so for starters, I've already have the hood off the car, so I'm going to put it back on the car. So the first thing I'm going to do is I obviously have my hood on the bench. I got my car located in a close proximity to me. What I've done is instead of using the bolts to put the hood on, what I use is some screw-in studs the size of the hood bolts. This is 64 impal, these are 3/8 bolts. I just cut them, or you can use a piece of 3/8 rod and cut it to whatever length. I make them fairly long, probably about 2 inches long, and screw them in. And what this is going to do is allows me to just drop my hood right on the hinges. It's not going to wobble around, it's not going to slide off. Once I get it on there, then I can just hold it and put my other bolts in. Okay, so here's my hood, and as you can see, I've got a long stud here, and then I got a shorter one in the back on the left side. You can see where I have this tape. This is tape that I used to mark where the hood was when I initially took it off. I got it all adjusted where I wanted it to. I just taped that off so that when I set it back on, if I put the hinges right in line with these tape marks, I'll be pretty close to where I started before. So I've got a short stud here and a long stud here. This is on the passenger side, or the right side, however you want to look at it. Over here on the opposite side, I have no bolt here, and I have a long stud on the front. Okay, so what I've done is I got a short stud in the passenger side in the rear. I got 2 long ones in the front bolt holes. So for me to carry this hood so that I can set it on the car, I need to carry it like you'd carry a sheet of plywood. And if you're a handyman, construction kind of guy, everybody's carried a full sheet of plywood by themselves. You carry it by the corner. So you take your sheet of plywood, you tilt it on one side, you grab the bottom with your left hand, you grab the top with your right, and you pick it up and you lean it towards you. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to carry this hood over. I'm going to drop this front pin into the front of that hood hinge over here, like this, and then I'm going to swing the hood around and drop it on over here. Now, once I swing my hood around, drop it on the front, I'll have the short stud in the back over here to set on. Then I'll be supporting the hood with one hand and putting a nut on this short stud on the other hand, with the other hand rather. So you want to make sure all your studs and your nuts and everything are all freewheeling, because you're going to do this all with your fingers. You don't have enough hands to have wrenches hanging around and everything. All we really want to do is get it on there and get it secured. Then we can swap out our bolts. We can get it where we want it to be. Okay? What I generally like to do is have a couple of nuts on hand. So just in case something should happen and you should drop one, you're not standing there going, oh shit, what am I going to do? You got a backup sitting right there so you can secure the hood, because once again, there's nobody here, there's nobody spotting you, right? So the other thing that I would do, I mean, this car here is in the beginning of the restoration process, so I'm really not worried if I bump a fender or whatever, because I gotta file this all out and get it all straight. What I would generally do if I had something that was pretty decent or it had nice paint on it is I would line the whole outside of this all the way around with some really thick moving blankets, just in case anything were to happen and something were to fall, or I would mishold something and it slipped or what have you. I wouldn't cause a scratch or a dent. The blanket would save me from that. On this application, I'm really not worried about that. So next thing we're going to do is I'm going to put this hood on. Alright folks, here we go. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hood and I'm going to shimmy it up on my sawhorses like this. I'm going to stand it up just like that. Now, like I said to you before, I'm going to carry this hood like you carry a sheet of plywood. So I'm going to get this hood in a kitty corner position, such as this. Now I can carry it. This, I can turn it. I can go just like this. We said it was going to be easy. Okay, now what I have is my hood is on there, around just like this. Just like that. Not the most graceful thing in the world to do, but once you got it, you got it. Okay, so here we are. This is the driver's side. I got my stud in the top, and you know, my tape is a little messed up, but I pretty much know where I'm going right there. On the passenger side, I got my top bolt that I used to locate it, and my bottom that I had my nut on there. Now, now I'm actually just sitting on the hinges. I'm not really exactly where I need to be or whatever. Now I can take my factory bolts, which I have right here, these, and I can swap out my studs and put my factory bolts in there, and then put my hinges right back to where the tape mark is, and I'll be pretty darn close as to where this hood is supposed to be, and then final adjustments once we close it. Okay, so we got our bolts in. You can see our factory bolts are here, and then on the passenger side over there, right there, I'm pretty close to where my hinge meets my tape. Over there, the same over here. This one got a little mussed up because of the putting the hood on, but I got a pretty good idea. So now I just got them barely snug. Okay, so there's my hood line right here on the passenger side. And then across my cowl, I got a pretty nice line going on over there. It fits pretty good with the fender. Fits pretty good with the fender over here. And I got a nice line coming right up along here and up to the cowl and across. So in essence, my hood's really where I need it to be. So folks, there you have it. Putting a hood on by yourself with nothing but 3 3/8 studs, a couple of nuts, one's with even a spare, and a little bit of ingenuity. So, you know, this isn't something I recommend for everybody. There's a certain amount of physical strength and dexterity and that you need to have to do this. So be careful out there, but if you get caught in a pinch and you need to do this, then this is a viable way to do it. Obviously, it can be done. You just saw me do it. This is a 64 Impala. The hood is big and the hood is heavy. So if you got a smaller car like a Camaro or a Mustang, it will be way easier because the hood's so much narrower and so much lighter. I want to thank you for tuning in to my video. I'd like to have you subscribe and like the video if you do enjoy it. I'll probably do another video on the reverse process on how to take it off, because I'll be taking this one back off for some work or what have you. But I really appreciate you tuning in and supporting me. If you have any questions or you need any help with anything, send me a message. I try and respond to everybody. So I'm Troy Kane on YouTube. I'm vtwins2v8s.com on Facebook, and vtwins2v8s.com on the internet at my website. Restorations, repairs, modifications, that's me. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.